What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality Podcast. I'm your host. I'm Caitlin Kenna-Smith. Now, today's topic is going to be one related to nutrition and fitness and health. But before we get into the topic, I kind of wanted to break down a little bit of what they call housekeeping to keep you guys up to date with what's going on with the Powerhouse Mentality in 2024. Because I mentioned this many times on the last couple episodes of the podcast. And if you follow me on Instagram, I've been mentioning it quite often that 2024 is going to be a year of extreme growth for this passion project. And I wanted to give you guys kind of the cadence, what to expect moving forward into this year. So I've been uploading a lot more, and you may have noticed that over the last 2 weeks or the first 2 weeks of 2024, because I want to put out more valuable content for you guys, because you guys are why I do what I do. And the way that I'm thinking about doing it as of right now, it might change, because here's the thing in life is that you can't procrastinate something because it's not perfect and then have that paralysis by analysis. What I found is that if you want to actually see if it's going to be the right choice, instead of overanalyzing it and looking for more research and talking to other people, one of the best ways to do it is to just take action on it. And you'll learn a lot more through the experience of actually doing it than you would ever learn by researching a topic. So what I'm going to be doing, like I said, for now, could change, is on Mondays, it's going to be a nutrition or a fitness or a health upload, right? Some topic that I felt was necessary to discuss based on the things that I talk about with my clients, or maybe some things that have been brought to my attention with research or on social media. Things that you need to learn or that would value you if you're somebody who's looking to improve their health or their fitness, which I'm assuming is all of you, since the people who consume my content want to get better in some capacity. You're not watching this because you want to become a worse version of yourself, and health is literally the foundation for you to accomplish anything great in life. The second episode of the week, which is on Wednesday, will be a guest podcast. So me having a conversation with somebody who's done something in their life that I want to talk about with and have them bring value to you. Now, with my guest selection, I pick people who I genuinely want to talk to. I pick people who I want to learn their story. I want to learn from their experience. And most importantly, I pick people who I know will add value to you guys. Because again, you guys are what matters. And then the third upload of the week will be on Friday. And that's going to be one that is focused all around mindset, mental toughness, developing tools that you need in order to succeed in your life, in any area of your life, in any capacity, to build the life that you dream of, the life that you say that you want. So, if you have any suggestions with topics, I always put my email down in the show notes below. So that way you can send me an email, shoot me a DM on Instagram, whatever you are most comfortable with doing, and give me some topics, give me some questions that you might want answered on the podcast, because I'm more than willing to do that, because I know that if one person has a question, that usually means that a lot of people have the same question, and most people are just afraid to share that or to ask the question. But one thing I've learned in my life, guys, another thing, always ask the question, because, I mean, why wouldn't you? You can learn so many things. So, today's topic. Now, before I announce today's topic, which you already know today's topic if you're listening or watching this because, well, you clicked on the podcast episode and the title has the topic in it. Oh, wait, which reminds me, I've been a little bit behind on uploading to YouTube. So, I'm video recording every single episode. If you're watching this, and you know that. However, my memory card thingy, I don't know the word for it, it is not working, so I have to figure that out, get it to work, or invest in a new one. So for now, I have a ton of episodes to upload that are video. However, I haven't done that yet because of that reason. I need to just bite the bullet and do it, but, I'm going to continue getting audio feed out to you guys, and then as soon as I'm able to, I'm going to get the video feed out to you guys. Now, we can get into the topic of today. And a little bit of context first, like I said. Before I became an online fitness coach, I actually worked in gyms. I didn't just decide one day, you know what, I'm going to train people online because everybody's making money doing it. I didn't decide to do that. I've been in the fitness and nutrition industry since I was 16 years old. I am 29 right now. So I got my certification as early as I could, which is when you were 18. You had to be 18 to get your certification. And then I started working in gyms immediately. So I worked at Blink Fitness, I worked at Crunch Fitness, I worked at New York Sports Club, I worked at Fitness Connection, which is where the majority of my career ended up, which was at Crunch and Fitness Connection. And then from there, when the gym shut down in 2020, I decided, you know what? I'm going to take this online so that I can impact more people and actually do something that I want to do that brings me the most fulfillment. And throughout my entire journey of going from personal trainer to head trainer to assistant fitness manager to fitness manager, then moving over to the sales and going into sales for membership. So I was a sales manager, and then I ended up becoming a general manager where I actually ran the gyms. Every single time that I would talk to people, whether it be a client that I was training, somebody that I was just helping on the floor, or somebody I was selling a gym membership to, or a personal trainer membership, or just somebody who I was having a conversation with about their goals at the gym, a lot of the times, probably one of the most common things that would come up would be, I can't lose weight because I have a slow metabolism. And they would label themselves as somebody who has a slow metabolism, and it almost created this excuse for themselves to be like, oh, well, I have a slow metabolism, so that's why I'm not seeing results. When the reality is, you don't have a slow metabolism. Yes, could I be burning more calories than you? Yes, absolutely. Just by sitting here doing nothing? Absolutely. But there's a reason for that. And it has nothing to do with your genetics. It has nothing to do with any bullshit that you can't control. That's what I want you to keep in mind. You can control whether or not you have a quote-unquote slow metabolism. And here's how. I'm going to give you 5 actionable steps or 5 reasons, and then you can take action from these reasons on not why you have a slow metabolism, but what could actually be happening. Because the topic of this video is how to overcome your slow metabolism. Because I want people who think that they have a slow metabolism to click on this video or click on this podcast and get value from it and learn that, hey, you don't have a slow metabolism. You can actually control being able to get your body to get the results that you want. Here are some things that could actually be happening, and how can you apply the things that I'm teaching you to take action on to actually earn results from. So, 5 things. And you know, the number 5 just keeps coming up when it comes to all these topics that I'm doing. And I think it's just like, it's easy to digest, because if I give you more than 5 things, the majority of people are going to not be able to actually execute things. And usually you're able to really condense things into 5 steps. Like, don't overcomplicate the system. Now, again, not steps. These are reasons as to why you might not be seeing results. It's not your slow metabolism. Here's what could actually be happening. Number 1, you eat like an asshole. Okay, yep, somebody felt that. I'm sorry, but you do. And I know that a lot of people are thinking, well, yeah, duh, if I eat like an asshole and I eat pizza and cookies and fast food and all this highly processed crap all day long, then yeah, of course I'm not going to be able to lose weight. But Caitlin, understand that I'm not doing that. I'm eating quote unquote clean foods. I'm eating all these healthy foods, and I don't know why I'm not earning the results that I want. I must have a slow metabolism. It must be just I'm burning too little calories. Correct, in a sense, but it's not going to be as obvious as you think. There have been so many people where they're perfect with their nutrition, or so they think, and then they don't know why they're not seeing results, so then they end up quitting because why even bother trying? Now, it may not be as obvious as you just eating crap all day long. Maybe you have a hard workout one day, and you use that as an excuse, or use that as a green light to just kind of eat whatever. You know, I got to refuel my body, and then you're over consuming on foods that may be quote unquote healthy, but are very calorically dense. For example, I see this happen all the time with nuts, nut butters, trail mixes, things like that. People just say, oh, cool, well, this almond butter or these almonds are healthy, so let me eat them. And they don't manage how much of it that they're consuming. And then, guys, 16 almonds is like fucking 200 calories. Like a thumb of peanut butter is 180 calories. So those things add up very, very quickly. And if you're not managing them, or you're not properly weighing them out, tracking them, then it can be really difficult to know how much you're actually consuming. And you might be in a calorie surplus or just at maintenance calories and not in the deficit that you need to be to lose weight without even realizing it, because you're eating foods that have been labeled healthy. But again, it comes down to managing it, and it comes down to the quantity. What I teach my clients to do is, hey, what matters more? Because I get this question a lot. Is it the quantity of the food that I'm eating, or is it the quality of the food that I'm eating? Quantity matters most. However, what I teach my clients is that we want to focus on quantity with a huge emphasis on quality, because the quality of the food that you're eating is going to impact your inflammation, is going to impact your energy levels, your focus, your overall health and wellness, which is going to impact your results. Plus, again, quality of food matters in a sense too, where if I'm eating 100 calories of nuts versus 100 calories of chicken breast, because the chicken breast has a different macro profile, it has more protein in it than the nuts, I'm going to get much more benefit for my results when it comes to the chicken breast. Another thing that could be happening in this capacity, like you eat like an asshole, is you do really, really well during the week. Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday, you are perfect with your nutrition. You hit your macros 100%, which is very rare because a lot of people, they take the bites, the licks, the sips, and they don't track those things, or maybe they're not necessarily weighing out their foods, they're kind of guesstimating. But say you are perfect throughout the week. Perfect. And then Saturday and Sunday, you decide not to track. You just kind of eyeball things. You eat with intention. You're not eating like an asshole in the sense where you're eating a pizza and a ton of beers, but you're moving less. Maybe you're eating a little bit more and you're not managing it. And that's the most important thing. And another thing a lot of people do, and my mom is one of the people who used to do this before she started actually tracking her macros and managing the food that she ate, is that she would go all day without eating. And then at night, she would start eating all of this food and thought it was okay, and it kind of balanced out. But that's not really how it works. Again, it comes down to, are you in a calorie deficit during the day, the entire day, during those 24 hours? It doesn't matter when the fuck you eat it. People think that they gain weight if they eat after 8 p.m. That's not true. It's what are you eating after 8 p.m.? Because most people, when they're eating late night, they're not sitting on the couch eating chicken and broccoli. They're eating like fucking potato chips and cookies. And then another thing that goes off of that is just misinformation in general. Like, take responsibility and seek information. Ask questions. Like I said, it's so important to ask questions and ask for help. One of the biggest things that I've learned, and I'm not being biased because I am a coach and I've been a trainer, the best investment that you can make for your health is hiring a good trainer or a good coach to be on that journey with you and to be able to help hold you accountable, but also give you the education and the push and the support that you need. Yes, is it an investment? Abso-fucking-lutely. But anything that's worth anything in life costs a little bit of money. Now, does it cost money? Yes, it costs money, and some good coaches you need to really invest in, because you can get a shitty coach and they're not really going to help you, and that investment will just be a cost. However, if you hire a good coach, you get a very high return on the investment and you save a lot of time. So if you want to get results, a good coach can get you there in 12 weeks, maybe to the same place, but on your own, it might take you a year or two to get to that same place. So you'll spend a little money, save a lot of time. And that coach is going to help you to determine, hey, what are some habits and behaviors that we need to put in place to make sure that we are being consistent with our nutrition and that we are managing it and we're tracking it, and to educate you that this is a lifestyle and you shouldn't have to feel restricted enough to where during the weekends you feel as though you have to binge a little bit because of how restricted you felt during the week. And what you can do from here, hire a good coach. I'm a coach. Send me a message. I am taking clients. I want to help you. If you don't want to be coached by me, that's fine. I'm not for everybody. I'm very honest and I will never sugarcoat shit, because I've found that that's what delivers my clients results. And that's what I'm all about. If you don't want to work with me, find somebody that you do trust, who has a lot of experience, who has credibility, that you would invest in, and hire somebody to help you on the journey. It sucks doing it alone, and it takes a hell of a lot more time to do it on your own. Another thing that you can do, these are your action steps, hire a good coach and trainer, track your calories and track your protein. Get 1 gram per pound of your body weight or your goal body weight in protein every single day. Body weight, goal body weight, if you have a significant amount of weight to lose, over 50 pounds, be honest with yourself. Hit that protein goal. Do it with whole foods and eat that protein source first at every single meal or snack. That's a super satiating combination, and it's going to be very difficult to overeat protein and whole foods. Is it possible? It is possible to overconsume healthy foods, but it's less likely because if I were to ask you to consume a bag of Lay's potato chips, you could do that without even blinking an eye. But if I were to ask you to consume the same amount of potato that I threw in the oven and baked, it's like maybe 6 potatoes in a bag of Lay's potato chips. I researched this last week as I was proving this point to my husband. You wouldn't even be able to eat those 6 potatoes. You would struggle because it's much more satiating because it is a whole food versus the highly processed, hyper palatable, covered in salt and fat Lay's potato chips. That's why you can't just have one. Okay? So, be honest with yourself with this one. I said, you're eating like an asshole, and you immediately said, no, I'm not. Ask yourself, oh shit, maybe there are moments in my week where maybe I'm being a little bit of an asshole, and that's okay, you know? It's important to recognize it, be aware of it, and then take action to fix it. That's it. You know, the best part about life is that you can make a change right now. You don't have to wait. Number 2. So number 2, you're consistently inconsistent on the habits that align with your goals. And you see this a lot with people who will restrict, and then they'll binge. So you're inconsistent, you're consistently inconsistent. Oh, whoa, that's a lot of consistence. Let me explain. I see this happen a lot. I see this happen actually the most often out of all of these things. Someone is consistent with hitting their protein, hitting their calories for a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe even a month. They have a good stretch, and then something happens, and then they have a bad stretch where maybe it's just a weekend or maybe it's a week. They lose their momentum and they allow that to keep happening. They get back on track eventually, but they consistently continue to do this. So you're great with your macros 2 weeks, and then a week you suck at it. Okay, cool. It's just a week. I'll get back to it. 2 weeks, a week. So it's almost like you're getting results for 2 weeks, but not long enough where your body actually has a chance to adapt to show you the results. And then all of a sudden, after a week of not being on your shit, you're back to where you started. And you almost just keep resetting the cycle. And then over time, you start to lose the confidence and the belief that you can do this because you continue to let yourself down by breaking that commitment that you made to yourself. It's what we do consistently that matters most. You're going to have some moments where you have moments of weakness, where maybe you have the pizza or you have a drink or you have a cookie that you didn't plan to have. It's going to happen. But all you need to keep in mind is that it happened, move on. Continue to be consistent in the things that align with your goals. And the way that I like to do this, and I mapped this out in my 2024 success guide, which you can still download for free down below in the show notes. There's a consistency tracker in that. And the way that I lay it out is that I give an example of 2 months, and you can print out 12 so you can have the entire year laid out. And every day you have your daily tasks. And the daily tasks I also outlined in that 2024 guide. And those daily tasks have to do with you earning results when it comes to your health and fitness. And you can manipulate these daily tasks to be whatever is going to actually work for you and be realistic to getting you to where you want to go. The ones that I do most commonly would be track your food, weighing out everything, being accurate with what you're doing, okay? Eating majority whole food. So track your food, majority whole food, that's 1. 2, hit your protein goal. 3, drink a gallon of water. 4, move with intention for at least 30 minutes. And then 5 would be sleep 7 hours a night. Okay, and those are 5 different things. And if you do that, you get a check on that day. If you don't do even one of the things, you put an X on that day. And now you're going to have X's, especially in the first couple weeks. But over time, you start to measure out, wow, I had way more checks this week than I did last week. So that means you're gaining consistency. You're gaining progress. And then a couple months go by and you realize, well, I only had 2 X's this entire month compared to the first month when I had 5 X's, or 6, or 10, or 12, or 13. What matters is that you're making progress and that you're moving forward and that you're not allowing the last decision that you made to be the one that ends you and causes you to quit. Be committed, not interested. And I spoke about this on the last podcast. You have to be committed, not interested in your goals. If you really want to make a change with your health, commit to it. Don't just say, I'm going to try this, because if you try something, the likelihood of you failing it is much higher because you're not fully invested. Now, you don't have to be all consumed to the point where you're blinded by everything in your life, because you need to also be able to, do your job, be a family person, whatever other responsibilities you have. But you need to understand that your health, needs to take a priority if it's a goal that you have for yourself. Stop being consistently inconsistent and start being occasionally good or consistently good. It's not about winning. It's about outlasting. So it's not about winning at your health. It's about staying in your health. Take a sip of coffee so that I can continue this. Coffee-wise right now, I'm a huge coffee connoisseur, and we're just going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here because, I want to keep you entertained too. Right now, I'm on Starbucks Christmas Blend, and the only reason that I'm on Starbucks Christmas Blend in January is because it was on sale for buy one, get one free. And it was my birthday, and my husband was like, do you want that? And I was like, I do want that. So I'm going to be drinking Starbucks Christmas Blend for the unforeseeable future until I work my way through it. And then I'm going to get back on some of my favorites, which are Black Rifle Coffee and Omen Coffee in St. Louis. Those are the best coffees. Like Omen Coffee, let me tell you, the guy who owns it, Mark, I'm pretty good friends with Mark, and we've had a couple of really good conversations, and he's just an incredible human. And his attention to detail with his business and growing a community around Omen, not a sponsor, but you should try out Omen Coffee. It will literally blow your mind, especially for somebody who really enjoys coffee. There have been times where he'll literally ship it, and in the note that he used to write, he would say that, hey, it was hot when I was packing your fucking order because of how warm the coffee was from grinding it fresh. But tangent, I'm going to get back to it. So number 3, you have inadequate or unhealthy muscle. And I hate saying the word inadequate because it's very broad. What does that actually mean? Really what I'm trying to get at is that you don't have enough muscle mass to create the metabolism boost that you want. Oh, wait, hold on. Metabolism, I can speed it up? Huh. So a lot of people, another thing that I would hear in the gyms a lot, especially on this topic, would be, oh, well, I'll just lose the weight first and then I'm going to build muscle. Okay, I get that. I see where you're coming from. However, you have it reversed. You could focus on losing weight. However, you're not going to be able to sustain that weight loss unless you build muscle first, because it's much easier for you to lose body fat, which is what you actually want, when you have more muscle. You do in order to get, not you get in order to do. And that's in any area of your life. Some people say, oh, I'll do that when I get happy, or I'll do that when I make money. No, you should do it now. You should do it now. You shouldn't put it off. Look, muscle is the organ of longevity. So this goes far more than just aesthetics and fat loss. And muscle is the only tissue in your body that's actively burning calories. So if I could combat the average American's sedentary lifestyle, what I would do is give everybody 5 or 10 pounds of muscle. I wish I could do that. That would be great. Because the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to burn at rest. Because it takes more energy, which is what a calorie is, to maintain that muscle tissue, because it consumes a lot of energy. Another thing is that muscle is more insulin sensitive, meaning that it's going to give your body the ability to utilize carbs for energy more efficiently versus storing it as body fat. So if you have more muscle, you're using carbs more efficiently for energy, but also you're burning more calories on a daily basis, and you get that lean toned look that you actually want. Now, I know a lot of people, they associate building muscle with like becoming a big, strong, giant bodybuilder. That's not what it's about. You would have to take a lot of fucking testosterone in order to get to that level. If you have more muscle, you burn more calories at rest. If you burn more calories at rest, you're going to be able to get to your fat loss goals more quickly, and you're also going to be able to sustain the results, which is the most important thing because so many people are really good at losing weight. It's easy to lose weight. You just eat a lot less and you move a lot more. But your body adapts to that over time. And then what happens when your body adapts to it too much and then you're stalled out and you didn't focus on building muscle? Now you just go back to what you used to do and you gain all the weight back and then some. And that's what happens to the majority of people. They're really good at losing weight, but they suck at keeping it off. That's the problem that we have in this society. It's not a weight loss problem. It's a weight maintenance or a weight keepy-offy problem, whatever you want to say. You want to lose body fat. You don't want to lose weight because if you're just going to a calorie deficit without focusing on strength training and protein intake, you will lose weight. But that weight will be a combination of water, muscle, and fat. And over time, if you're losing muscle, you're slowing your metabolism down. You're burning less calories. You don't have a slow metabolism, but if you have less muscle, you're burning less calories. So this is a way for you to actually speed it up a little bit and actually help you. So how do you build muscle? Well, I already said it. Protein intake, strength training. If you have no idea where to start, shoot me a message. I'll help you out. But there are a lot of great programs out there when it comes down to strength training. And the basics are the basics for a reason. So developing a really good strength training routine, full body, 3 days a week is where I have most people who have never done anything in their life to start. However, if you're doing nothing right now, work out one day, strength train one day next week. And then once one day becomes something that you can sustain, move up to 2. And then you could probably hang out around 3 and see phenomenal results. Protein intake, like I said before, 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight if you have a significant amount of weight to lose, or 1 gram per pound of your current body weight. If you do those 2 things, you will build muscle and you will see your body change. You will lose body fat and you will be shocked by how easy it becomes. Number 4, you're sedentary. A lot of people fall into this category. Now, NEAT. Let's talk about NEAT. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. You've heard of this before. You've heard of NEAT before, I'm sure, when people are talking about how many steps that you take in a day because you want to increase your NEAT, or the activity that you're doing outside of your workout is kind of what you want to look at it. So it's like, I'm walking around, I'm fidgeting, I'm moving around. I'm somebody who fidgets a lot, plus I work out a lot, so I need to consume a lot of calories because I'm sitting at a desk right now, but generally I'm moving around, I'm standing at my desk. But if I'm not doing those things, I'm considering myself sedentary because I work out and then I sit at a desk all day. And that's what a lot of people do. And they think, oh, well, I work out, so that's burning a ton of calories. However, you don't burn as many calories as you think you do during a training session. You're burning the majority of the calories through your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, which is the calories that you burn just sitting there staring at a wall, just keeping your body alive. Remember, if you have more muscle, that BMR is higher. And through NEAT. NEAT is the second biggest thing that you burn calories through. And that's just you moving around throughout the day. If I have a client who trains really, really hard one day and then goes and sits at a desk for the rest of the day, they're going to burn less calories than somebody who's on their feet at work doing a manual labor job and doesn't train that day. So my question for you would be, do you have any idea how much that you move over the course of your day? Like, think about it. How much do you actually move? A lot of people, what they do is they get up in the morning, maybe they do go to the gym. They go to the gym and they work out with weights, or they get on a treadmill for an hour, and then they go to work. They sit at a desk all day. They sit in the car to get back home. They sit on the couch, and then they go to bed. If you're not going to the gym, then cut out the gym and you're literally just car, desk, home, couch. You're basically sitting all day. So one way that you can really get a hold of your NEAT and really get a hold of maybe being a little bit less sedentary would be, okay, how many steps do I take on a daily basis? The average American takes about 3,000 to 4,000 steps. That's 1.5 to 2 miles a day. That's not a lot. We're meant to move. We're animals at a very, very foundational level. And so if I were to tell you, hey, we're not taking your dog out for an entire week, like you're just going to let them sit in the house all day long, you think they're going to get depressed and anxious and less healthy? Yeah, and you're the same. So take yourself on a walk. And this doesn't have to be like, I'm going to dedicate an hour or 45 minutes to a walk. It could be as simple as, hey, after every single meal, go for a 5 to 10 minute walk. Because not only is that going to accumulate more movement and steps throughout the day, but it's also been shown to improve digestion and improve blood sugar if you do it after a meal. So, hey, you get a lot of wins for just one little thing. And if you're somebody who, okay, I know I take 9,000 steps a day, but I want to increase my activity, how would I do that? I recommend doing 2,000 extra steps and then seeing where that takes you. So if you're averaging like 8,000 steps right now, aim for 10,000. If you're doing 5,000, aim for 7,000. And that increase in activity over the next couple of weeks will probably really benefit you. You know, the reality of filming a podcast and recording a podcast is that your camera shuts off after a certain amount of time. And usually the camera, what it does is it notifies me. It did not do that this time. So the YouTube video will be a little bit cut up, and that's okay because we just roll with the punches and we learn from our mistakes. Number 5, guys, this is the final one. Poor health, inflammation, poor gut health, and stress. And I put all of that under the category of poor health. I hear this a lot. I can't lose weight because I'm too stressed. I hear you, but it's very unlikely. Stress itself doesn't cause you to gain weight. That's usually not the thing. What happens is it's the habits and behaviors that actually occur from that stress that lead to the weight gain. For example, when you're more stressed, you're probably eating foods that make you feel good or are those comfort foods. Or you're not really managing your food. You're not having willpower with your food because you're so stressed and busy. You're probably not sleeping a lot, and sleep has a huge impact on everything. Your habits, your behaviors, your hormones, your inflammation levels, all of that. If you're stressed, you're probably not focused on your workouts very much. And if you are, maybe you're overly stressing yourself with the workout. So then you're just adding more stress to your life. Stress impacts your willpower, your effort, your sleep, everything. It also, like I said, impacts your inflammation. So if there are high amounts of inflammation in the body, then your body is just focused on survival, not your fat loss goals. And then that inflammation in turn is going to impact your hormones, which can in turn impact your results. So if your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, is super elevated because you're constantly in a fight or flight state, and your testosterone is low, which is also what happens in a fight or flight state, muscle protein synthesis won't occur efficiently. And muscle protein synthesis is how our bodies actually repair and rebuild muscle tissue, which remember, more muscle, more calories burned, more fat loss. So if muscle protein synthesis isn't able to occur because of your hormone profile, because you're excessively stressed, then look at that. You can't lose fat and build muscle efficiently. That's the problem. And then a lot of people have gut issues. And a lot of people have gut issues that they actually don't even pay attention to. They ignore them. And the reason they ignore them is because they'll go to the doctor because they're excessively bloated and their doctor won't have an answer for them. Oh, it's normal. No, it's not normal. Just because something is common doesn't mean it's normal. So if you're excessively bloated after each meal, or you're running to the bathroom multiple times a day, then maybe we need to look at the food that you're eating. Because one of the most toxic relationships that you can have with food is eating a food that causes digestive issues, causes bloat, hurts you in some way, shape, or form, and you continue eating that food. And a lot of people fall into this trap because the food that's causing the issue is quote unquote healthy or labeled healthy. This happened to me with avocados. Oh man, I love avocados too. And it sucks. I can't handle that spicy dairy. I can handle First Form's whey protein because of the way that it's processed. It's just a really good quality protein powder, so it has very little lactose in it. So I can handle the whey protein, which is great because it's very convenient and very tasty. But I can't have ice cream. I can't have milk. I can't have spicy dairy. Can't do it. So spicy dairy and avocados, can't eat them. I used to have a salad every single day that had avocado in it. And I couldn't, I remember I would be at work and I'd have to go to the bathroom at work because of how much it hurt me. And I was always crampy and gassy, and I just had these awful feelings in my stomach. And then they'd pass after a few hours, so it was oh, okay, it's over, whatever. And I never really thought about it until one of my friends was well, maybe you should figure out okay, what in that salad is causing those issues. And I thought, well, all of the foods that I'm eating are healthy foods. They're whole natural foods. There's nothing processed in that salad that I'm eating. So it couldn't be the salad. It must be something else. Maybe the time of day, or maybe it's my stress levels, or I don't know. Maybe it's something. But it was the avocado. I cut out each ingredient at different times. So first I cut out the Brussels sprouts. It wasn't that. Then I added the Brussels sprouts back in, cut out the chicken and used a different protein source. It wasn't the chicken, thank God, because I love chicken. And then it was the avocado. Literally ate the salad with no avocado, and I felt fucking great. And I was dang, I love avocado. This sucks. But again, it's one of those things where even if the food is labeled healthy, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be healthy for you. And you have to be honest with yourself and have the awareness to know what feels good for your body and what doesn't feel good. So inflammation in the gut happens when we're eating something that maybe doesn't break down correctly. Our body doesn't like. We have a slight sensitivity to it. It could also happen from stress, excessive consumption of highly processed foods, because there's a lot of different stuff in there, as well as just excessive alcohol consumption, things like that. Now, when there's inflammation in the gut, there's going to be poor absorption, breakdown, and utilization of the food that you're eating. Now, let me paint this picture for you to show you how it actually relates back to your results. What if you're eating your protein, but you have such poor gut health that you're not actually absorbing the amino acids in the protein that help you build muscle? Back when I was recovering from an eating disorder, I actually had malabsorption. So I was eating food and it was literally going straight through me. Literally. I won't give you a visual, but it was literally going straight through me. And I felt awful, energy-wise, brain fog. I felt like I had a nutrient deficiency, even though I was eating the right types of food. I was eating whole natural foods. I was eating enough protein. I was eating enough carbs. I was eating enough from what I thought. However, I wasn't properly absorbing the food because of how terrible my gut health was after destroying my gut health with enemas and different medicines and hundreds of grams of fiber every single day when I had my eating disorder. And this is why I personally have my clients take a high quality probiotic and or digestive enzymes to help with the absorption and breakdown of food. Personally, I recommend and I take First Form OptiGreens. I've been taking them for 5 years and I will not be stopping anytime soon because they make me feel so good. They have probiotics, they have digestive enzymes, there's a glycemic control blend to help stabilize blood sugar throughout the day. Plus it has phytonutrients from things that we don't necessarily consume on a daily basis, like wheatgrass, which I don't know if anybody consumes wheatgrass on a daily basis, unless you're willing to spend $6 on a thumbprint of wheatgrass juice. Now, I do need to preference this because somebody's going to run out and get the OptiGreens and be like, it hurt me. If you have horrible gut health, so bad, where you have all of these symptoms and you haven't gotten tested yet, maybe you have an overgrowth of bacteria. So my recommendation of probiotics and digestive enzymes comes on a client-to-client basis. So like I said, if somebody has severe gut issues, adding a probiotic can actually make things worse because a probiotic is a bacteria. Yes, it's a good bacteria. However, If there's an overgrowth of bacteria and we're throwing more bacteria on top of it, it's not going to help. It's going to hurt more. So if you do think, okay, maybe this product, this OptiGreens, these digestive enzymes and probiotics could actually benefit me, shoot me a message. Let's talk. Again, client-to-client basis, person-to-person basis. I'm always willing to help. And I'm just sharing what works for me and what works for the majority of my clients. But like I said, this is if you have like severe gut issues. Nutrient deficiencies is another big thing that comes from just poor health. You know, if you don't have enough vitamin D or vitamin C or magnesium, your body's going to prioritize survival over optimization. So it doesn't care necessarily about you getting the body you want. It cares more about you actually making it to the next day. And if you have nutrient deficiencies, your body goes into that fight or flight response where it's thinking, oh no, I'm in this bad state of health, so I need to really prioritize just survival. And then inflammation, you know, coming from stress and things like that, it can cause systemic inflammation, and gut health can do this as well, where it's actually hindering your ability to recover from your workouts, which will in turn hinder your muscle growth and your fat loss. So we spoke about 5 things in pretty good depth today. I just want to outline them again for you guys, okay? You eat like an asshole, but remember, it may not be as obvious as it seems, so really be honest with yourself and be willing to take personal responsibility for certain things here and dig a little deeper. You're consistently inconsistent on the habits that align with your goals. You have inadequate or unhealthy muscle. You're sedentary. You're not moving enough. Or you have poor health, inflammation, poor gut health, excessive stress. And now all of these things do have a common trend. You're not being honest with yourself, or you are not taking personal responsibility. And I talk about taking personal responsibility a lot on this podcast because it's the biggest factor in earning success in any area of your life. And it's hard to take action when you keep blaming everybody else around you for why you are the way that you are. There's no one to blame but you. So if you think you've plateaued and you want to take an honest look at all of the things I covered today and ask yourself, am I truly plateaued, or is there something more that I can do? You know, I've been a coach and a trainer for 12 years, and I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever actually seen a legitimate plateau. I've seen people who think that they're stuck, and then they realize, oh, I'm just doing too much cardio, I'm not strength training, so I have inadequate muscle. Or, oh, shoot, I'm eating French fries off my kid's plate, and I'm not tracking it. Oh, you're supposed to weigh your food? I was just guessing. That's one I see a lot. Oh, I'm supposed to track the calories in my latte from Dunkin' Donuts? Yes. It's little things that, and again, it just comes down to like the lack of information and lack of awareness. So I am glad that you're listening to a podcast that's going to give you information about how I can achieve my goals. Some other podcasts that I would recommend would be, the biggest one, honestly, that I recommend to people is Mind Pump. And the reason why I recommend Mind Pump specifically is that, I mean, the guys at Mind Pump, they have so much experience working with people and not just charlatans who are out on social media saying, don't eat this, don't eat that. Here's the research that says don't do that. And they turn into like scientific robots. Mind Pump actually has experience working with humans, and they take habits and behaviors into play, and they break it down really simple, really easy to digest, really easy to understand. They have so many episodes, and they are super easy to listen to, super great guys, knowledgeable. And again, they have that experience. So if you're somebody who's looking to learn more, go check out different podcasts. Like, this is a great podcast. I love that you're listening to my podcast. But one that I listen to, like I said, is Mind Pump. It's one of my favorites, and I really love the information that the guys put out. And the biggest thing, guys, take action. Take action on these things. If you realize that there's something in these 5 things that, okay, I don't have a slow metabolism, but I'm not doing something correctly, quick fix. Make it happen. And if you need help or support, shoot me an email, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm always more than willing to help you. That's why I put out information to help. And don't be afraid to ask. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. If you did, please share it with at least one person. Share it on your social medias. Please tag me. I love seeing when you guys tag me. And I love the feedback that you've been giving me. And go out and do one thing today that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.